Hello everyone, and welcome to my Days of Our Lives official. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Paulina has no reason to dismiss EJ because he shows up at her place with a signed statement from Stefan, who has already retracted his claim that EJ was involved in the baby switch. Paulina states that Melinda Trask has no intention of returning and that she does not currently have a replacement for him. EJ promises that he won't need her attention going forward and will get on with his duties as DA. EJ Paulina Declaration Days. How did he get his brother to sign this statement? Paulina asks EJ, knowing full well that it is a lie. EJ says this is the truth, and Stefan was attempting to drag him down, so he threatened to sue him for defamation and ruin him. When they run out of things to use as leverage against one another, she worries what they'll do. EJ chuckles that won't happen and walks away. Stefan brings flowers to Gabi when she is in the hospital. He acknowledges that the nurse asked him to bring them in, and that they are from Gabi Sheik's aides. Why is he here, she wonders. He wanted her to know that he had discussed his divorce petition with his attorney. Stefan acknowledges that he had assumed Gabi would have filed first, which surprises Gabi. Gabi says he had swore to fight for their marriage, so why the sudden hurry to divorce her? He says, I'm not in a rush, but why drag this out when they're both miserable? She still feels it is sudden, so why now, and why today? He informs her about his prior confrontation with EJ, during which EJ threatened to permanently erase the memory of being together. All Gabi sees is him and Ava together, so she can sympathize. Stefan makes a trip to Gabi Days. There is nothing left to fight for, according to Stefan, because there is no way to remedy this. Gabi remembers thinking she was going to die while the bomb's timer was counting down, and all she wanted to do was tell him once more how much she loved him. She wanted to forgive him when he visited her that night in the hospital, but he later confessed that he had sought revenge sex with Ava once again. Stefan claims that although she attempted to sleep with EJ a second time, he rejected her. She concedes that's accurate. He felt the same way about her as she did, he was upset and wanted to hurt him. She believes it's not appropriate to inflict anguish on someone you should love with all of your heart. He first had no interest in interacting with her, but she recalled that it was a miracle when he died and returned. Stefan holds her hand and says they were overjoyed to have found their way back to each other. She claims that's when she got locked up, and the only thing that kept her going was knowing he was waiting for her. She was unable to cope when she learned about him and Ava. Stefan expresses his regret to her and says he would do anything to turn back time and make that error disappear. Days before Gabi and Stefan's divorce. Stefan acknowledges that even in their wonderful and joyful times, he had never loved someone as much as he did her. Grinning, he says, she was everything to me, reading aloud a letter he sent to her for their anniversary. He claims he's a moron who messed everything up, but she labels him a poet. She claims that after he did, she made things even worse. While they both apologize, Gabi claims that everything has been destroyed. She tells him to file for divorce, as she wants it over with the same as he does. After saying their goodbyes, Stefan leaves. Gabi starts crying uncontrollably. Julie, who is out with the children at Salem Place, asks Thomas why he seems to be in such a hurry. Thomas claims that he and his friend are going to play a video game together later on today, but Julie informs him that he needs to reschedule since their father has something special in store for them. Days Julie, Thomas, and Charlotte. What is the surprise? Thomas wonders. Leo enters at once and declares that he likes surprises. Thomas asks Leo if he can help him with his loose tooth and if he is still the Tooth Fairy. Leo claims he is no longer the Tooth Fairy, but he did learn excellent news concerning his mother. Mom's dead, what's so good about that? Thomas responds. Julie gives Leo a look. What are you talking about, Leo? Asks Julie. Abigail is not the subject of any news. Leo says there is, and their mom got her chief angel wings, and Fairyland is raving about it. In addition, he acknowledges that he is the Tooth Fairy and hands Thomas and Charlotte cash for their lost teeth. Julie informs the kids it's time to leave and quickly leaves with them. Leo commits an error days. Thanking Abigail for arriving, Chad says at the Horton residence. He says he wants the kids to tell them the truth when Julie comes back with them. Abigail is adamant that they are unable to accomplish that. Although she says they both thought it was too soon, Chad believes the kids need her and have been without her long enough. He worries they'll probably find out more from someone else the longer they wait. Although Abigail is only now beginning to recall, she doesn't want a stranger to find out either, so what harm can come from waiting? According to Chad, their children need their mother back and are intelligent enough to sense that something is wrong. Is she sick of feeling like a prisoner in his father's tomb? Chad wonders. She wants her life back, doesn't she? Maybe, he suggests, seeing their kids will help her remember them. Abigail reveals that she can't bear failing them as she already feels awful enough by forgetting and disappointing him. When Julie and the kids come, he says he gets it. Looking at Abigail, Thomas queries her identity. Days that Julia takes the children home. Abigail can't say anything. Thomas wonders why his father isn't saying anything and why Abigail is staring at him. Julie assures Thomas that his father is only collecting his thoughts. Abigail claims she's heard a lot about them and that she works with his dad at the newspaper and is a friend of his. While they finish up their job, Chad asks Julie if she can watch the kids. Though Chad insists it will happen later, Thomas had heard there was a surprise in store for them. Days with Chad, Abigail, Julie, and the kids. Chad queries whether something was triggered as Julia and the children go. Abigail claims it wasn't. She has a suggestion, but he's not sure where they should go from here. Off camera, she shares her proposal with him and inquires about his opinion. Julie reappears out of nowhere and inquires as to what is going on because she believes they were being honest with the kids. Abigail, according to Chad, wasn't prepared. Having finally met her cousin, Julia is happy. She informs them of Leo's mistake and stresses that they cannot carry on this farce indefinitely. According to Chad, Abigail had a suggestion on how to keep it from happening in the future. Abigail says she'd want to visit Paris with them. They clarify that Abigail might be able to remember if she goes back there. When Julie asks if they are taking the kids, Abigail replies that they will leave them in Boston with her parents in order to prevent anyone from stumbling across them and telling them anything. She also says if she doesn't remember anything, then they will tell the children the truth. Chad agrees with the strategy and exclaims, "Paris, here we come." When Ava visits the pub, Roman informs her that, in light of the Connie incident, he is changing the locks and will provide her with new keys. Ava claims she is aware of her rent arrears and is unsure of when she would be able to reimburse him. Ava claims that things have changed, but he thought she left the tavern because she obtained a better job. Ava explains that it was a little trickier than she anticipated to quit before she even started the new job. She hasn't had time to talk to Stefan about it since he saved her from Connie. Roman says Ava can have her former position back if she so chooses, but perhaps she should clarify her relationship with Stefan first. She gives him her thanks and leaves. Ava and Roman in the pub days. When Leo gets there, he informs Roman that although life on soap operas is wild, real life is even more insane. He recently learned the hard way that Chad's children are unaware of their mother's continued existence. He fills Roman in on what transpired. Roman queries the progress of the soap later on. Leo informs him that Hattie's demands forced him to write her out. Having to kill off her character was something he detested, especially because he knew she was going to leave before she did. Roman and Leo talk for days. Ava visits Stefan at the bistro to discuss his job offer. Is she going to unquit? He asks. According to her, it depends on whether he and Gabi are reconciled. He affirms that they are not, and that they will be divorcing. Even though Ava doesn't like Gabi, she still has feelings for him and hopes he isn't acting prematurely. A portion of Stefan claims that he will always love Gabi, but neither of them can get past the other's transgressions. He's hoping she'll think about going back to work without worrying about him or Gabi. She understands that because she needs the work, but if it would benefit him and Gabi, she would be happy to go back to the Brady pub. He gives her thanks. Ava and Stefan converse days. EJ visits Gabi at the hospital. He asks her how she would feel about sharing a home after claiming that Rafe told him to avoid her. Gabi thinks it's a big house, and they'll sort things out. Although she clarifies that they aren't from Stefan, EJ believes the flowers are. She tells him that Stefan was only here and that because of him, she is divorcing. She informs EJ that he made fun of Stefan, saying he would always carry the picture of them together in his mind. EJ acknowledges that he did say such due of his brother's fixation on things. She remembers that Johnny vented his frustration at losing Nicole to her and Stefan. He was successful in his attempt to destroy their marriage. EJ spends days in Gabi. EJ apologizes if she feels he is to fault for her marriage failing, but he assumed it was already ended after their passionate night together. He's right, she claims, and becoming angry with him was simpler than getting angry at herself. He was the one who turned her down when she wanted to have sex again, even though she was the one who came on to him. It's a running joke among his friends. Additionally, he claims that he has never seen her back down from a conflict, so if she wishes to keep her marriage together, this isn't a quarrel, according to Gabi, and what she and Stefan had before is actually gone this time.